Hi, welcome to the next lesson in my photography course. This is the first lesson. In this lesson I will quickly tell you about certain criteria of a photo, or what are the main factors of a photo. So there are three. One is the lighting conditions around, or of the object you take photo of. Second is the framing, which means what you decide to include and exclude in the frame or in the picture. And the third one is the settings in the camera. So the settings in the camera probably is the most complicated one. Nevertheless, after this course you will be able to understand the basic settings and take advantage of them. Believe me, it's not that difficult. You don't really need to go into any advanced settings. There are only a few settings that you need to be aware of, and that will be enough. Now, the lighting, you need to learn how to use it to your advantage, how to adjust the settings and use some creativity. You will do some exercises about this. And the other factor which I mentioned is framing. This is something crucial actually. So your first assignment, your first exercise will be in framing. So for example, the common mistake that people make while taking photos of other people is that they frame it very badly. So what they do, they, for example, start from here and the photo goes up to the ceiling, so the head is actually either in the middle of the photo or even below the center of the photo. Very often the head is below of the center of the photo. Well, usually that doesn't look very good. What you want is a picture where the main subject, in this case somebody's head, is actually a little bit above the center. So there is this rule of thirds in photography: 1/3, 1/3. So you divide a frame into three parts, so you draw two imaginary lines, and you want the center, the most important object, to be in the top part, but ideally on the second line, on the line. So it's not too high, but it's definitely not in the center. It's a little bit above, and this type of photo looks much better and has a bigger impact. Other thing is, so we know now the proportions, the rule of three or thirds. The other aspect is actually how much of the body you want to include. If you take somebody's body, very often people, what they do, they cut people at, for example, at the knee level. It's kind of usually doesn't make sense. If you are going that far, why don't you include the whole body, including feet? And even if you need to squeeze the ceiling to very close to the top of the head, that's still better than leaving a lot of space above the head and cutting the knees. So that's another thing to think about. Now, portrait photography, if you come very close to a person, the decisive aspect is also the angle. So you can go facing somebody like this, or you can go a little bit lower, or you can go a little bit higher with the camera. That will have dramatic effect on the photo that you have taken. So what I want you to do, I want you now to go and experiment. Find another person or two people. If you cannot find other people, then maybe use something else. A pet that you have, a dog, a cat, or although it might be difficult to make your cat, pose for you. Or use a pillow. Imagine that that's a person, and use a pillow or a few pillows and experiment. What I want you to do is to take photos with various framing. So a few photos from close distance where you decide to shoot just the person's head or bust. So you take a portrait photography. So you want this. Now then you need to decide whether you want to put the person, how much space you want to put above the head. Just, I don't know, 10%, 30%, 50%. Take a few photos, experiment, and see what it looks like. Also, remember you can take photos horizontally and vertically. Again, think about the space. Also move people in this plane, yeah? So maybe put them on the left, on the right. See what difference it makes. Once you've done this, I want you to step further away and take photo of this person from a distance. And again, see what you can do. Cut maybe them at the bust level or the waist. Then maybe put them on the right, on the left, higher, lower. Experiment. I would like you to spend on this at least 10 minutes taking various photos. Also experiment with a flash, use flash and don't use flash on some photos, and see what difference it makes. So at least 10 minutes spent on taking photos, and then come back and I'll tell you what to do next. Okay, so see you in the next photo. Sorry, in the next video.